The blue light woke Samantha from her sleep. She sat up in bed. Her heart raced as the familiar glow filled her small apartment bedroom. 5 years had passed since she last saw this light. The air shimmered and rippled like water in the center of her room. Samantha held her breath as a tall figure materialized. Queen Lyra of the Celestial Empire stood before her, just as magnificent as Samantha remembered. Her skin shimmered with a subtle iridescence like pearls under moonlight. Her eyes, large, almond-shaped and violet, held ancient wisdom and unmistakable longing. "I missed you so much, human." "Let's go back," said the alien queen as she extended her slender, seven-fingered hand toward Samantha. Samantha remained frozen, unable to move. The memories flooded back to her all at once. The research station on Mars, the unexpected first contact, the diplomatic mission that changed everything, and most of all, their forbidden connection that threatened two civilizations. 5 years ago, Samantha Miller had been a linguist assigned to the Mars outpost when the Celestials made first contact with humanity. Their technology was centuries beyond human understanding, their civilization spanning thousands of star systems. Yet, despite their advancement, the Celestials had been fascinated by humans, particularly by their emotional capacity and unpredictable nature. Queen Lyra had personally requested Samantha join the diplomatic team due to her exceptional talent for languages Samantha had learned. The complex celestial language faster than any translation program, developing a system that allowed for meaningful communication. The two had spent months together bridging the gap between their species. What began as professional respect evolved into friendship, then something deeper. Something neither of their worlds was prepared to accept. "You can't just appear in my apartment after 5 years and expect me to go with you," Samantha whispered. Her voice trembled, but she kept her gaze steady. The queen had left her without explanation 5 years ago, disappearing after the diplomatic crisis that nearly led to war. Lyra moved closer, her tall frame making Samantha's bedroom seem smaller. "I had no choice. The Council threatened to destroy your planet if our bond continued. They feared what would happen if humans learned too much too quickly, or scientists discovered something remarkable about your species." Lyra continued, "Your adaptability, your creativity, your emotional intelligence. These traits make humans uniquely capable of understanding the cosmic frequency." Samantha frowned. "What are you talking about?" "The cosmic frequency is the underlying energy that connects all sentient life in the universe," Lyra explained. "Only 3 species in our known galaxy can naturally attune to it. The Celestials evolved this ability over millions of years. My people spent generations developing technology to enhance this connection. But humans, you possess this ability naturally. That's why I had to leave, Samantha. The Council was afraid when they discovered our connection was accelerating your attunement. They ordered me to end all contact with Earth. They believed humans would become too powerful too quickly." Samantha stood up, finally finding her courage. She was only 5'4", making the 7-foot-tall Queen tower over her. But Samantha had grown stronger in the years since their separation. "Why come back now?" she demanded. "Because my world is dying." Lyra said, her voice breaking the void. "Bringers have returned, ancient enemies we thought defeated centuries ago. They feed on worlds that resonate with the cosmic frequency, and the celestial homeworld resonates more strongly than any other. My scientists believe that. Humans, particularly those who have been exposed to celestials, can help us. They have a natural resistance to the void, a strength we lack." Lyra knelt down so her eyes were level with Samantha's. "I did not come here just for my people. I came for you. I never wanted to leave." Samantha felt the familiar pull toward the Queen. The connection that had formed between them years ago still hummed beneath her skin like a live wire. "You broke my heart," she said simply. "I know," Lyra replied. The regret in her voice was unmistakable. "I will spend eternity making it up to you if you let me, but we don't have much time. The Void Bringers have already consumed 3 systems. They will reach Earth eventually, beyond the window." Samantha noticed more blue lights, Appearing across the night sky, celestial ships dropping their cloaking technology becoming visible to human eyes for the first time. "The whole world will know about you now," Samantha said. "Yes, the time for secrecy is over. Humanity deserves to know the truth and to choose their fate." From outside, Samantha heard the distant sound of sirens. People would be panicking seeing the massive alien vessels hovering over major cities. "What happens if I go with you?" Samantha asked. "You will help us understand how humans resist the void," Lyra said. "Together we might save both our worlds." And Samantha, "I promise. I will never leave you again." The Queen extended her hand once more. Samantha thought of her life on Earth, her job teaching linguistics at the university, her small circle of friends who knew nothing of her past with the Celestials, her lonely apartment. None of it had felt right since Lyra left. It was as though a part of her had left with the Queen. "If I go with you, we go as equals," Samantha said. "No more secrets, no more decisions made for me." A smile spread across Lyra's face, lighting up her alien features. "The humans are learning so quickly," she said with admiration. "Yes, Samantha Miller. We go as equals." Samantha took a deep breath and placed her hand in Lyra's. The familiar warmth spread through her body. The connection between them flared to life, stronger than before. Outside the window, the night sky filled with more celestial ships. Their blue glow bathed the city in ethereal light. The world would never be the same, and neither would Samantha as. The blue light enveloped them both. Samantha felt no fear, only certainty she was finally going where she belonged. The stars waited, and this time she would face them not as an observer but as humanity's ambassador to the cosmos, where her species' remarkable qualities might just save two civilizations from extinction. The teleportation was instant. One moment they stood in Samantha's bedroom, the next, they materialized on the bridge of Lyra's command ship. Samantha gasped as she took in the view. The massive curved window revealed Earth below, blue and beautiful. She had never seen her home planet from space. Before, celestial crew members worked at crystal consoles that glowed with symbols Samantha recognized from her earlier studies. They bowed respectfully as Lyra entered, though many cast curious glances at Samantha, "My queen." "We have reports of human military forces mobilizing," said a tall male celestial. His skin had a bluish tint unlike Lyra's pearlescent hue. "They are confused and frightened. Open communication channels to all Earth governments," Lyra commanded. "Let them see me and Samantha. We must prevent panic." The main screen flickered, showing the faces of world leaders hastily gathered in emergency sessions. Their expressions ranged from fear to awe. "Leaders of Earth," Lyra began, her voice translated into all human languages simultaneously. "I am Queen Lyra of the Celestial Empire. We come seeking alliance, not conquest. Your world faces a threat beyond your understanding. The Void Bringers consume all life, and they are coming." Samantha stepped forward, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. She recognized the American president among the faces on screen. "My name is Samantha Miller." She said, "I was part of the Mars First Contact team 5 years ago. The Celestials are telling the truth. They need our help, and we need theirs." The president leaned forward, her eyes wide. "Samantha Miller, your credentials check out, but you disappeared 5 years ago. We thought you were dead. I was with the Celestials." Samantha explained, learning. "Their civilization is ancient and powerful, but they face extinction. We have something they need, a natural resistance to the enemy they face." The Chinese premier spoke next. "Why should we believe this? Why reveal yourselves now after years of secrecy?" Lyra gestured, and a holographic display appeared in the center of the bridge, showing a star system being consumed by darkness. "The recording is from the Antares colony," she explained. 3 billion Celestials lived there. Now nothing remains. The Void Bringers left no survivors. The room fell silent as the leaders watched the horrifying footage. "How can humans possibly help against something like that?" asked the European Federation president. "We barely have interplanetary travel. The celestial scientist stepped forward. The human genome contains unique properties. Our preliminary studies show that humans naturally produce an energy pattern that repels void entities. When Samantha spent time with our people 5 years ago, her presence alone strengthened our shields against void probes. Samantha looked at Lyra in surprise. You never told me that. There was much I couldn't tell you then, Lyra said, but now there can be no more secrets. The Russian president spoke, her voice stern. We will need proof and guarantees of safety for our people, of course. Lyra agreed. We propose bringing a delegation of human scientists aboard our vessels to verify everything we claim, and we offer technology that will advance your civilization by centuries in exchange for your assistance. The leaders began talking. Among themselves, their voices overlapping, Samantha turned to Lyra. This is happening so fast, she whispered. Are you sure they will agree? They have no choice. Lyra replied, Nor do we. The Void Bringers will reach this system within 1 Earth year, with or without human help. But together our chances improve dramatically. Suddenly alarms blared throughout the ship. My Queen, emergency transmission from the outer scouts, said the communications officer. Put it through, Lyra ordered. A panicked celestial face appeared on screen. Void scouts detected in the Kuiper belt. They are moving faster than predicted. Estimated arrival in the solar system, 3 Earth months. Not 1 year. Samantha felt the blood drain from her face as she looked back at the image of Earth below. Everything she had ever known, everyone she had ever loved, was now in immediate danger. Lyra turned to the human leaders still visible on the main screen. We have less time than we thought, she said. You must decide now. Will Earth stand with the Celestials? 3 weeks passed in a blur of activity. Samantha stood in the observation deck of the Celestial mothership, watching as hundreds of smaller vessels formed a protective formation around Earth. The combined fleet of human and celestial ships looked impressive, but Samantha knew it would not be enough against the Voidbringers. After the initial shock, the nations of Earth had rallied together faster than anyone expected. Perhaps facing extinction had a way of eliminating old rivalries. Humanity had unanimously voted to join forces with the Celestials. Samantha had become the key liaison between the two species. Her unique position as someone who understood both cultures made her invaluable, but it was her biological uniqueness that truly mattered now. Dr. Kate Lee, the leading human geneticist, approached Samantha holding a tablet. Your latest test results are fascinating, she said. Every time you interact with celestial technology, your cells produce more of what we're calling void resistance factor. It's like your body is learning to generate a natural shield. And other humans, asked Samantha. Similar responses, but not as strong. Dr. Lee replied, We think your previous exposure to celestial energy 5 years ago changed something fundamental in your cellular structure. The 50 volunteers working directly with celestial engineers are showing increased resistance, but you're still the strongest. By far. Lyra entered the observation deck, her royal attire replaced by more practical battle armor. The sight of her still made Samantha's heart race despite the dire circumstances. The research teams need you again, Lyra said to Samantha. They believe they can amplify the human resistance factor and incorporate it into our shield technology. As they walked through the massive ship, Celestials bowed respectfully not just to their queen but to Samantha as well. It was strange how quickly she had adapted to life among aliens. The curved hallways, the crystal technology, the different gravity, all felt almost normal now. They entered the main laboratory where human and celestial scientists worked side by side. Dr. Olivia Ramirez, the human weapons specialist, looked up from her console. We think we can modify the celestial shield generators to emit a frequency that mimics the human resistance factor, she explained. But we need a direct neural link to Samantha to calibrate it. Precisely. Samantha hesitated. The last neural link had been intense, leaving her with headaches for days. It must be done, Lyra said softly. But I will not order you, Samantha. The choice is yours as always. Samantha nodded. I understand, she said, and followed the scientists to the neural interface chamber. The device looked like a crystal crown. When placed on her head, it would connect directly with her thoughts, allowing the scientist to map the exact pattern of her resistance to the void. As the crown touched her skin, Samantha gasped. Images flooded her mind. She saw the void not as darkness, but as nothingness, an absence so complete it hurt to perceive. She saw planets dying, stars being extinguished, and the hungry nothingness growing. Then she saw something unexpected. Within the void, tiny points of light, consciousness, awareness, something alive inside, the nothingness. When the scientists removed the crown, Samantha collapsed into Lyra's arms. "There is something in the void," she whispered. "Something conscious. It's not just a force of nature, it's alive." The lead celestial scientist looked alarmed. "This confirms our oldest legends," he said. "The Voidbringers were once a species like any other, but they evolved to consume energy rather than create it. They became the antithesis of life itself." "How do we fight something like that?" Dr. Lee asked. "We complete the shield," Lyra said firmly. "Then we find a way to communicate with whatever consciousness remains inside the void." For the next week, Samantha worked tirelessly with both teams. The shield technology advanced rapidly, while communication experts developed a possible way to send messages into the void itself. On the 8th day, alarm sirens blared throughout the fleet. "They are here," announced the Celestial Admiral. Samantha and Lyra rushed to the bridge. The main screen showed the outer planets. Neptune and Uranus were already darkening, as if shadows were spreading across their surfaces. The darkness moved like liquid, consuming everything it touched. "Activate the shields," Lyra commanded. Across the fleet, celestial ships powered up their modified shield generators. The technology now incorporated the unique energy pattern found in human cells, particularly Samantha's. The shields glowed with an unusual golden light, rather than the traditional blue of celestial technology. The void reached Saturn, its rings the first to dissolve into nothingness. Then the planet itself began to darken. "Is the shield working?" Samantha asked, unable to take her eyes off the terrifying sight. "We will know soon enough," Lyra replied, her voice steady, despite the fear. Samantha could feel through their bond. The darkness approached Jupiter, the largest planet in the system. The Celestial Admiral looked grim. "We have scout ships near Jupiter," he said. "They report the void is moving more slowly than before, but it is still advancing." Samantha felt her heart sink. The shield was helping, but not enough. The communications officer called out, "My queen, we are receiving a transmission from who?" Lyra demanded. "Earth Command." "No, my queen." From the void itself. The bridge fell silent. Everyone turned to look at the main screen, where patterns of darkness shifted and moved, almost like a face trying to form. "We need to answer," Samantha said suddenly. "I think I know how." She moved to the communication station and placed her hands on the crystal interface. Her connection to the celestial technology had grown stronger over the weeks. She closed her eyes and focused on the strange consciousness she had glimpsed during the neural link. "I see you," she projected through the ship systems. "I know you are alive." The darkness on the screen shifted again, more distinct now. A face formed, not human, not celestial, but something else entirely. "We hunger," came a thought. Not quite words, more like impressions directly in their minds. "We must feed on life, on energy," Samantha responded. "But there are other ways to exist. We can help you find them." The face in the darkness seemed to consider this. "For countless eons we have known only hunger," came the response. "What other way could there be?" Samantha looked at Lyra, then back at the screen. "Symbiosis," she said. "The joining of different life forms to create something stronger than either alone. Like humans and celestials are doing now. We could find a way for you to exist without destroying." The void entity seemed to pause, considering Samantha's words impossible. It finally responded, "We cannot change what we are. We hunger, we consume. That is our nature. But you were not always like this," Samantha pressed. "You were once a species with form and purpose before you became the void. How could you know this?" The dark entity pulsed with what might have been surprise. "I saw it when we connected. Samantha explained. I saw memories buried deep within you. Memories of a world with 3 suns where your people lived in harmony before the great darkness came. The face in the void shifted, becoming more defined, almost sorrowful. Those memories are not ours. They belong to those we have consumed. Lyra stepped forward, standing beside Samantha. Then, there is no reasoning with you, she said. If you continue your advance, we will fight with everything we have. The entity seemed to grow larger on the screen. Your weapons are meaningless. Your shields will fail. We are inevitable. Samantha felt a sudden inspiration. She turned to the science team. Can we modify the shield technology to project rather than just protect? She asked. Could we create a bubble of the human resistance factor and expand it? Dr. Lee looked thoughtful. It might be possible, she said. But the power requirements would be enormous, and we'd need a much stronger source of the resistance factor than what we're currently generating. All eyes turned to Samantha. I volunteer, she said immediately, knowing what they were thinking. Lyra grabbed her arm. No, she said fiercely. The neural interface at that power level could kill you. We don't have a choice, Samantha replied. If we do nothing, everyone dies anyway. At least this gives us a chance. The void continued its advance. Now approaching Mars. The red planet began to darken as the nothingness touched its surface. We have hours at most before it reaches Earth, said the Admiral. Prepare. The interface ordered Lyra, her voice tight with emotion. Then she turned to Samantha. If you do this, I will join you in the link. The burden will be shared, Samantha wanted to argue, but there was no time. The two of them hurried to the neural chamber where scientists were already modifying the equipment. This is untested, warned Dr. Ramirez. The power levels we're talking about could burn out your nervous systems. Just do it, Samantha said. The modified crown was placed on her head while Lyra received a similar device. The two sat facing each other, hands clasped together. The connection between them that had started 5 years ago would now be pushed to its limits. Begin the procedure ordered. Dr. Lee, the neural interface activated. Samantha gasped as her consciousness expanded. She could feel Lyra with her, their minds merging, becoming something new, something greater than either of them alone. She could see the void now not just as darkness but as a complex entity, a collective of lost souls consumed and transformed into something hungry and cold. Through Lyra she could access the full power of celestial technology. The shield generators throughout the fleet responded to their combined will. The golden energy began to pulse outward, not just protecting, but expanding. On the bridge the crew watched in awe as a wave of golden light emanated from the mothership. It spread outward, engulfing the fleet, then continuing toward Mars. The darkness retreated wherever the light touched. What is happening? Demanded the void entity. Its voice now audible throughout the ship. You consumed worlds to survive, Samantha. And Lyra spoke as one voice, their words carrying through the communication systems. But in doing so, you absorbed the essence of those you destroyed. Now we are awakening those memories. Those souls. They remember what it was to be alive. The wave of golden energy reached Mars, pushing back the darkness. The red planet glowed as the shield energy enveloped it. Stop this, commanded the void. We cannot be changed. But you already are changing. Samantha and Lyra responded. Look, within the face in the darkness began to transform. Other faces appeared within it, thousands of them. The remnants of civilizations consumed over millennia. Each one awakening, remembering what they once were, in the neural chamber. Samantha's body convulsed. The strain was becoming too much. Dr. Lee monitored her vital signs with growing alarm. We need to stop, she warned. They can't take much more. No, came Lyra's voice through the interface. We are close. The golden wave continued outward, reclaiming Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The darkness retreated but fought back, tendrils of void pushing against the light. Samantha could feel her consciousness beginning to fragment. The power coursing through her was too much for a human body to contain. Even With Lyra sharing the burden, she was reaching her limits. Then she felt something unexpected. A third presence joining them. Human minds connecting to theirs. The 50 volunteers who had worked with celestial technology. Their resistance factors linking, together strengthening the network. Then more minds. Hundreds, thousands. Humans across Earth reaching out unconsciously, responding to the call. The latent ability to connect with the cosmic frequency awakening in humanity as a whole. The golden wave surged forward with renewed strength. It engulfed the darkness, not destroying it but transforming it. Where there had been only hungry void now, pinpoints of light appeared. We remember came new voices from the entity. We were the Lyraxians, we were. We were the people of the glass seas. We were the faces within the darkness became more distinct, individualized. The collective entity was separating, returning to the distinct civilizations it had once consumed, in the neural chamber. Samantha felt her strength failing. The connection was too powerful, sustaining it too difficult. She could feel Lyra trying to protect her, taking more of the burden. But it was not enough as her consciousness began to fade. Samantha had one final thought, directed all her remaining energy into the link, pushing it outward into the void itself. Remember who you were, she projected. Remember life. Then darkness claimed her.